For MediaWatch, I'm joined by Emma James on set. Welcome. You've been looking at some rather unflattering reactions to the British Prime Minister's visit to the White House.
Yes, Theresa May has undoubtedly been trying to cozy up to the new US president, using phrases like special relationship and even opposites can attract. And it's those kind of words that seem to have really inspired cartoonists, certainly in the United Kingdom. This cartoon is from The Times by Peter Brooks, and it shows the pair meeting in the Oval Office, and as you can see, rather a reflection of those words that Donald Trump used ill-advisedly in a video that was leaked during his presidential campaign. And rather than going to shake Theresa May's hand, he appears to be heading for a different part of her anatomy in that cartoon. This rather stomach-churning offering from The Guardian's Steve Bell.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It is quite shocking.
I guess even his toes are orange. That's
exactly
what I take away from that photo.
And it's called fashionable contrast because it actually, as he says there, he gives credit to an artist called James Gilray. This is the original inspiration for that cartoon. It was drawn back in 1792. The person with the little feet there is Princess Frederica Charlotte of Prussia. This was on the occasion of her wedding. And apparently she was famed and adored for her tiny feet. But if we go back to the Steve Bell cartoon, you see that there it is not Theresa May who has the dainty extremities. It is, in fact, Donald Trump. So it really is insulting on quite a few levels, that one. What we learned during the visit of Theresa May is that the Queen has actually invited Donald Trump and his wife to pay a state visit to the UK. There have been some funny reactions online. This from Larry the cat who actually lives at number 10 Downing Street. It is his Twitter account, and he has tweeted, "Trump is coming to the UK for a state visit this year. God save the Queen." And this one too from a spoof Queen account, Elizabeth at Windsor, says he'll be staying in the On the Lawn in a tent suite last used by George Bush.
Well then, it's been a busy first week in office for Donald Trump, but you've been taking a look at one story that's been slightly overshadowed, but that merits some closer scrutiny.
Definitely. There has been so much frenetic activity, really, from the White House in Donald Trump's first week in office that it has been pretty hard to keep up with it all. And this is a story that it has been reported, but hasn't had as much attention as it would get at a normal time, shall we say. The Independent here reporting on it. It is Donald Trump's decision to publish a weekly list of crimes committed by immigrants in the United States. Human rights groups have said it's xenophobic, that it amounts to a weekly hate list. But it's just one of the measures being introduced, a raft of things in order to tighten border security, he says, and immigration enforcement. Many have voiced their concern, though, wondering just how far the US president is going to go with this. Simon Sharma, a very famous historian, says today is Holocaust Memorial Day. Remembrance is more important than ever in this time of ultra-nationalism. It didn't start with Auschwitz. In a similar vein, this Twitter user says Trump wants to publish a list of crimes committed by immigrants. This is literally something that Nazis did to the Jews. Now, the New York Times has pointed out that actually, contrary to Trump's claims, it is people born in the US who are more likely to commit crimes than immigrants themselves. And one person who is very much giving her backing to all immigrants is an immigrant herself, Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State, who says, "I was raised Catholic, became Episcopalian, and found out later my family was Jewish. I stand ready to register as a Muslim in solidarity," because, of course, he has touted the possibility of a Muslim registry in the US.
Well, that's a lot there. Finally, more controversy about a Trump in Mexico, but not necessarily Donald Trump in Mexico.
No, for once, it is Melania Trump who seems to be attracting the criticism because she is on the front page of February's edition of Vanity Fair. And it looks fairly ordinary when you look at it first glance. She's airbrushed and she talks about the fact that she wants to be the new Jackie Kennedy. But if we scroll down, you see she's actually dining on diamonds. It's some sort of spaghetti diamantes, you might say. And some people think that this is just so distasteful. Some of the reactions on Twitter, Melania Trump with a dish of diamonds on the cover of Vanity Fair Mexico looks like a joke. And this Twitter user saying that nothing says for the ordinary folks quite like eating a bowl of jewellery. Now, of course, this is incredibly well timed with the spat over the wall and the cancellation of the two presidents meeting. But, of course, for Vanity Fair, it has ensured a lot of publicity.
Especially since that Vanity Fair spat with Donald Trump has gone back decades now. Thank you so much. Emma James there with MediaWatch.